when did you really first get into music? I mean, how old were you when you remember first that you really...
Around 2. I think they put me up on the table and I was into, like, those Italian songs.
Yeah?
Yeah, basically, I guess it was kind of like Italian folk music, but I don't remember any of it. I figure, it was just a different period of, the time, my musical development at that point was, that kind of Italian stuff.
Right.
Then later on, around 5 years old, I was into, like, Satchmo, Eileen Farrow, and Bambi.
And Bambi?
Yeah, Bambi was big on about my top 3 then. I never really thought I'd be anything else, and then when I tried to be everything else, I would say everything else, around in the time of high school, I tried to be everything else, but what I thought I would be my whole life, because, I wanted to do the right thing, and I flunked pretty miserably. And then after I couldn't really fail at much else, I decided to go back and do what I knew how to do.
Right.
Yeah. I was in art schools, as a matter of fact, all through school. I went to art schools, and I wanted to go to music school. But maybe that's good, because, I still use my art influence, but, I used to sing with my guitar on corners and stuff, but I actually didn't join a band. I mean, I was part of a duet. Folk, Then, the rockers were, not into the folkies, and the folkies weren't into the rockers, There was that whole, like, cultural thing there, but you had to be there, Molly, It was one of those things. And I played the Hoot Night at the Gaslight, and they used to have the Hoot Nights. But the first professional gig I did was...
What's a Hoot Night?
Oh, that's when everybody comes down and brings their, guitar or whatever, and just gets up and sings. Everybody, just goes up on stage and plays, and it's one after the other after the other. It's basically you do it for free. If the guy likes you, gives you the gig, Then when I finally did get a folk gig, all my friends came down, and they had a comic open for me, and one of my friends, Dominic, he was funnier than the comic, so the owner got really upset with me, so, he asked my friends and me to leave, But they didn't have a microphone then, so I don't know how professional. They used to have, like, a acoustic tile in the corner of the room, and they used to tell me to aim at it, because then that'll, bounce your voice back. I guess that helped me later on in rock, because everything was so loud, you had to aim your voice a certain way. So it's good in crowds if you want to call somebody. You could just aim your voice and And then the first real band that I played with was a disco band. And I sang the high background, and in a lineup, there were 3 of us. And I used to wear the big platform, But I still have them, and I wear them now. My ankles look just lovely in them. I started writing when I was 11 years old with my sister.
Yeah?
Because as soon as we got the guitar in there, she graduated from junior high, she got a guitar, so as soon as the guitar was in the house, that was it, Then she took up French horn, I took up trombone. They asked me to stop rehearsing. My mother asked me if I could stop.
I'm just trying to imagine trombone.
It was really amazing to see me get on the train in the morning with the trombone and my art portfolio and my school books. It was an amazing thing in rush hour. There's a couple of times it fell straight over on somebody.
Sort of like a New York version of Some Like It Hot, really, wouldn't it be?
I don't know. Some Like It Funny. It was very funny. It really was. It was comical. But, it's always been that way. It's always trying to take the whole house out with you, when you're going someplace. It was just like trying to pack for this tour. I mean, I just couldn't fit enough in those trunks. And then I could hardly fit the trunks in the room. But, it's always that constant thing to take the whole place with you.
All right, so by this
time... Did
I
lose myself in this question?
No, I think... No. I may have lost the question, actually.
I'm sorry, because I think I lost the question myself.
All right, so you're doing the disco thing.
All this memorabilia, Molly.
We need to know it.
We need to know.
Right.
Okay. Nausea music is big. It's very big. We did a Nausea record, Dave and me. Am I losing track of this question?
No.
Because the Nausea music could be very big. Yeah, it's kind of like Frank Sinatra, but not nearly as good.
And you did a record?
No, I didn't. Dave did.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it good?
No, but I don't think it was supposed to be.
Right.
It was supposed to make you nauseous. I always felt like, you know, either I was born too late or I was born too soon. That's what I always thought. I was just born in a weird place. I mean, that's before I succeeded. I'm glad I came when I came because I'm now around to see all the artists that are around right now, and there are a lot of wonderful artists. So I just felt like, you know, what are we doing and this and that, and then New Wave hit, and it was the most exciting thing to be in New York. I think that I will never forget the excitement of going down to CBGB's after rehearsal and seeing all the crazy groups and going to see Blondie at the Vanguard. I thought that that was just, and the shirts, and then there was this radio station that it was just right then. It was when the Police first came out, and we had been thinking of a change in direction. And what we came up with was a combination of things, which, you know, I still do. But that's the way I am. I got this idea, oh, I think this kind of music sounds great with that kind of music, and then maybe if we, you know, the mixologist approach sometimes, but it works for me, and I find it's easier to invent when you know a lot about music, because you can mix things. Anyway, that's what I loved I loved the whole punk scene, because it was raw, and it had a raw energy.
And there was Tina Turner sitting on the couch, and she was sort of dead pooped, you know. And I was sitting next to her, and you came up to Tina, and you said, "Oh, Tina, excuse me, would you mind signing my music sheet?" And Tina said, "No, I don't mind." And she sort of more or less mumbled, and she sort of said, "You know, I don't know why anyone bothers, because, you know, most people lose these things within a year, you know, and this shock hits your face." And you went, "No, Tina, I mean, like, I've got, you know, all my autographs, you know." And you suddenly said, which I couldn't help but burst out laughing, even though I was sitting there. It may have been rude. You sort of said, "I remember even getting my first one of my first autographs was from Herman Hermits, and he wrote, 'Mrs. Lauper, you've got a lovely daughter.'"
Yeah, I still have that.
You showed that to me.
Yeah.
Do you really like, I mean,
Yes.
you're a fan? I mean, even...
No, I'm an air conditioner.